On a vast prairie where the sky and earth seemed to merge with every gentle breeze, there lived a herd of horses in peace through many seasons of grass. Among them, the most prominent was the Stallion, a horse with a muscular build, a long black mane, and proud eyes. He always strode at the front of the herd with a majestic gait, admired by many other horses for his strength and impressive appearance. In contrast, the Mare was a complete opposite. She had a petite frame, gentle and calm eyes. Although not as striking as the Stallion, the Mare was loved by many in the herd for her kindness and diligence. Every day, the Mare searched for fresh grass for the mother horses and foals, led them to clean water holes, and avoided places with mud or snakes. She never raised her voice, nor did she compete for the leader's role, but quietly did good things for the whole herd. Even so, the Stallion often looked down on the Mare. Whenever she raised a warning, the Stallion would sneer. "You only know how to fuss over trivial matters. In the wild, strength is what matters most." The Mare didn't respond, only looked at the sky, at the ground. She always believed, not everyone who speaks louder is right, and one day, the truth would speak for itself. One morning, when the sun had not yet fully stretched its rays across the field, the Mare suddenly sensed something was wrong. The scent of grass in the wind was strange, damp, and salty. The birds, usually flying with the wind, were now flying in the opposite direction toward the hill. The ground felt slightly trembling, like the hurried breath of the mountain forest. The Mare quickly headed to the river, where the water was usually clear, but now turned murky and rushed faster than usual. She returned to the herd, neighed loudly to signal, "Everyone, a flood is coming from upstream. We must leave now and go to higher ground." Some foals and mother horses paused from grazing, looking up. But at that moment, the Stallion neighed loudly and stomped his feet in protest. "Just a few strong winds and murky water, and you're already scared? I've lived here for many seasons. Nothing serious has ever happened." Many young horses believed the Stallion, as he was strong and had once chased away wolves and lurking leopards at night. They thought if he wasn't worried, then neither should they be. Only a few mother horses and foals trusted the Mare's instincts, quietly following her up the hill to wait. Dark clouds gathered heavily in the sky. The first lightning flashes streaked across the gray heavens. While some still hesitated, the real disaster was already creeping close. At noon, when the earth was still warm from the sun, the sky suddenly darkened as if a giant gray cloak had been thrown over the prairie. The wind howled like a wild beast. Rain did not fall in drops, but poured as though someone had upended a lake from the heavens. Then, from afar, from the deep forested mountains, came a booming rumble, like the sound of war drums. The flash flood surged down from the mountains, carrying soil, trees, and destruction. In an instant, the lush green field turned into a vast sea of water. Horses that hadn't run in time were swept away. Frantic neighs echoed in panic. The Stallion was the first to turn and flee. No more majestic looks, no more proud posture. He galloped madly toward the hill, the very hill he had mocked earlier. He didn't look back, ignoring the cries for help behind him. In the chaos, a foal was trapped in the floodwaters, its leg entangled in submerged roots. It struggled desperately, neighing nonstop, its wide, innocent eyes filled with the fear of death. From the high hill, the Mare saw this. Without hesitation, she leapt into the rushing waters, ignoring the desperate cries of the mother horses behind her. She knew she wasn't strong, but sometimes the heart must speak louder than the legs. The water was freezing and so strong it could sweep away large logs. The Mare swam upstream, each step a struggle, reaching the trapped foal. The roots wrapped tightly around the foal's leg, rendering it immobile. The water had reached its neck, its eyes wide open in terror. Without a second thought, the Mare bit at the roots, kicking with her legs, using all her strength to free each tangled strand. Finally, she grabbed the foal's mane and pulled it out of the current, pushing it up to higher ground. Just then, a large log came crashing down and struck the mare's side hard, making her stagger, almost fall. But she managed to stay upright, using her body to shield the foal from floating debris. In that moment, she was like a living wall, standing between nature's fury and a small, helpless life. As the waters began to recede, the mare was utterly exhausted, her body covered in scratches, blood mingling with the rainwater. Yet her eyes remained gentle and calm as she looked at the trembling foal, safe at last. On the hill, the other horses stood silently. They had just witnessed not a flood, but a magnificent moment of sacrifice. And in nature's fury, that light of compassion shone even brighter. When the sky cleared, the afternoon sun pierced through torn clouds, casting light upon the prairie now strewn with leaves and mud. The herd slowly gathered, confused, weary, but alert enough to understand what had just happened. The stallion appeared first. His body was clean, not a single scratch. But his eyes were no longer proud, instead full of guilt. He bowed his head silently, not daring to look at anyone. The mare came afterward, bruised, but with eyes shining in a different kind of pride, quiet and resilient. Beside her, the rescued foal nestled close, eyes full of gratitude. An old horse in the herd, one who had lived through many rainy seasons, spoke in a deep voice. "Today, I've seen what matters. The strongest one is not always the most trustworthy. It's the one who stays, who dares to sacrifice for the weaker." The whole herd nodded, turning their respectful gaze to the mare. The stallion stepped forward, bowing his head before her. "I was wrong. I'm sorry for not trusting, for not understanding." The mare didn't say much. She simply replied softly, "In a disaster, anyone can be afraid. But the one who dares to act is the one who's truly strong." From that day on, the mare was no longer just the gentle horse. She became the true guide of the herd, by heart, not by the loudest neigh.